It is Susan Hubbard, aka SH Cosplay, here with another costume review. Now, originally, I was planning on doing a DIY for styling the cheap Elsa wigs you can get off of Amazon, and I'm almost done with it. Like, I'm this close to finishing it. What I need to do is actually put it on me, put on the costume, and show you how it looks on a person as opposed to a styling head. I thought by now I would have been wearing it, and I have not. So hopefully I'll get on that this weekend. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, right? So before we get into it, I do want to give a special shout out to my special friend Penny. I've known Penny for about 10 years now. I used to be a manager for a big box pet store, and Penny and her parents would come in and visit. And Penny would always bring a special smile to my face. I remember, I don't know what happened, but it was a really bad day. I've been dealing with all kinds of, bad retail things. And I was closing, and that night, Penny and her parents came in and made my day all better. So I absolutely love Miss Penny. She's a real ham, and she's definitely a best friend. And I'm going to bring this a little bit closer so you can see what she looks like. There she is. There's a pretty Miss Penny as Captain Marvel. And I'm going to put her right on my wall behind me. And I also have there her Anna, so she can be Anna to my Elsa with that. So now moving on to the actual review. This is going to be the Endgame version of Captain Marvel. And it's from SimCosplay. They had a very large, wonderful giveaway. They had all kinds of different ones to win. There was one that was for families, and there was the lovers, which is the one I won, which means I won 2 costumes. Actually, I got to have my pick of any costume with custom measurements, with boots, and I was of course very excited. And so I picked Captain Marvel's Endgame, and I got to pick a second costume for my husband, and we picked Thor's Endgame version as well. So it's been one he's been looking at. So it was wonderful to have an opportunity to get that for him. I do want to give a really huge shout out to Bruce at SimCosplay. He's been my costuming fairy godfather for the last year, really. I know 2020 has been horrible for everybody. And without going into the details at this moment, it started out from the get-go, January 1st, really bad in our household. And it really felt like the punches never stopped coming. So it's definitely brought a smile onto our households, except for Seven. Seven does not care about the costumes. He just cares that I haven't given him enough treats today. But I do want to thank Bruce for giving these opportunities to us. So that being said, I'm going to be doing the Captain Marvel one tonight. I don't know when I'll get to do Thor. Probably I want to make sure Bob's home so he knows that I took everything and that I'm going to bring it and show it. So I'll keep that a separate video just so it keeps this one a little not as long at the time because I ramble. So that being said, I'm going to put links to both of them below, but there are actually 2 versions of the Endgame Captain Marvel on their website. One is a darker red, which is the one I picked, and I picked it because the gold's shiny in that one. I know, it's a silly reason to pick something, but that's why I did it. The other one, you can see the red's much brighter, and you have more of a brushed gold. And looking at it, the differences are minute, and I think that whatever you prefer, whichever one you prefer, you're going to get the same quality, which is fantastic. But we're going to go and move on, and we're going to go into some of the details. So I want to start out first of how they constructed the jumpsuit. So what I like about it is that you have this soft material right here. And if you've watched my review about the blue Captain Marvels, you'll know that they're vinyl all the way through from the whole thing. And as a result, because the neckline is so high, it cuts right into my throat. It makes it very difficult when I sit or bend down because it goes right in my throat. I would have to cut a V into it and butterfly it so that way my neck had room to breathe. But in this case, because you have this lovely soft material, you don't have that. So there's no need to cut into it. It's nice and soft. Again, I picked it because you have the shiny gold. The one thing that was a little funny to me, but not really, there's the knee pads, and they're a little off, but they actually line right up with my knees, so that was a big plus, actually. But just something to keep in mind, that it might be the pads might be a little into things. The one thing that was a little head scratching was that despite that I gave custom measurements, it's a little long in the torso area, probably about a good 1.5 inches or so. So what I ended up doing is, in multiple places, I have this Velcro. It's industrial strength Velcro. You can get it at Joann's, and I can just fold and tuck everything over all the way around. So no big deal. And what's great is that this is covered by the belts and the vests, and you're not going to see any of that. And in the event I have to lend this out to somebody, if I have a friend who wants to borrow it, or there's a situation where someone else is just going to wear it, and they're a little taller than me, they can fit into it. So other than that, there was not much of, you know, everything was really nice in here, really nice stitching. Everything is a little baggy in the suit, and this is actually not a bad thing. If you go back into my prior reviews about the blue suits, my one complaint is they're tight. They're very, very tight. And it took me a very long time to break it in to the point where I could kneel, I can bend down. There's little room for movement. And the downside on those is that they're lined, which I get is so that it doesn't stick to you, but it makes it very, very warm, which was great last year when it was 16 degrees in February. Not so great once it turned 70. This one does not have that lining. It's just the regular, you know, cloth here, just the regular vinyl. And what I like is that there is a little bit of give and everything. I can bend, I can sit, I can move. If it's really cold out, I have room to put on like thermals or something underneath if I go outside. So I'm actually really, really happy with that. These really long zippers, and this is for any of them. The one thing you've got to watch for is on any article of clothing, when you have this cross here with the seam, and you have a zipper, especially an invisible one, once you have it on, it's going to catch right here. So this is just my little tip for anybody who does it, is that to start out with the zipper above the cross there, and then put it on, and then have someone zip you up in the back. But that's going to happen anytime on any article of clothing that has a cross with an invisible zipper. So that's just my little tip for that. So let me just put that over here. And moving on. So here's the vest. And again, you can see how shiny this star is. And that's why I picked this version, because I like shiny things. It's the ADHD speaking, but I like the shiny. The one thing I really do like about this vest versus the blue versions is that the zippers on the side, the ones on the blue are off center, and it's very difficult to get on my own. This one, I at least have a chance to take care of myself in the event that I don't have anybody to help me in and out of the costumes. The other difference is that it's at the neck is where it joins. So you can just get that lined up there. On the blue ones, the zipper's in the front, and you gotta squeeze your head through. So again, this is a much better setup, in my opinion, on getting this on and off. The belt. It's beautiful. It's blue. The one thing you can't really see on the camera, but in person, the blue is this very shiny metallic pearl finish that it's really pretty in person. They have a little bit of metal touch to the buckle, so that gives it a little bit more of a polished look to it. And my favorite part, the Velcro is in the very back and not weirdly on the sides like in my blue version. Yeah, that was not a good idea on the design, whoever did that one. But again, they're using industrial Velcro, so this will stay right on. And there's the Sash. I do believe that these are one size fits all. And it's huge. It looks like it's a bit smaller in the other version, but this one is huge. And I'm not even going to... What I did was I folded it over, and I have more Velcro underneath, so just it shortens it up a little bit on me. And I can adjust it. I can fold it over if I want a little bit shorter. And then you can just do a loose tie on the side, and that way you have that nice sash that she has on there. Then we have the boots. It came with boots. Very sturdy soles. I'm always ecstatic when I see good soles on the bottom of the boots that I get. Sometimes it's kind of hit and miss, but all the shoes that I've gotten through Costumes on SimCosplay have been very excellent on the soles. They're very comfortable. I'm probably still going to put insoles in them just because my feet do require that. But again, it's that beautiful blue pearl shine to it. They fit great. I can maneuver in them, which is very important. And the most important thing is that they fit. And we have the gauntlets. Again, beautiful shiny material. It's flexible. It's not too stiff. It's not going to get in your way. Because once you fold it over, it's going to come like all the way over here. And if it's too high up and it's a thicker material, it kind of starts bending over and squishing. So I think this is perfectly nice and lightweight for, you know, whatever your event is. And one of my favorite things, I don't know why, but like in every costume, one of my favorite things is the gloves. And I really like these because of the detail in them. They really are quite similar with the black detail to what they look like in the movie. And they're made really well. I don't know why, I'm just amused by well-made gloves, but they're nice and shiny with the gold and they fit great. And I have no complaints. I'm not too sure what Seven's complaining about. I've given him his 5 o'clock treats. He's got a full bowl of kibble. He has wet food he hasn't touched. But I think, well, maybe he's just letting you all know he's there because he's 7. And lastly, what I didn't expect him to throw in was the helmet. Now, when it came in, the hair was flopped over and soft. So what I did was I took my favorite Got2b glue, gel and hairspray, and I turned it into the mohawk. And it didn't take me too long to do it. I worked on it on the sections, and then I just made sure that it was standing out from the curve. And then the other thing I did was glue the red together so it held up and stayed straight when I did it. Couple things I like about it is that there are wires in the nose and in the jaw, so you can adjust it to your face shape, which is, you know, really great because a lot of times when you get these, especially these softer helmets, they don't, and they may feel comfortable, but they don't, you know, they don't look as great on you. And then there is your traditional zipper on the back, which is, you know, different. I'm used to the zippers that start up here and you zip it down, but this one you catch it in and you pull it up, so it does feel really secure when you put it on. But the one thing I do have to do, and because I have long hair, is I do have to put it up. I have to put it in the stocking caps just so that the zipper doesn't catch. The one thing you may notice is that in the eye holes, it's clear, where in the movies that they have, you know, she's got lenses or her powers kind of in there. And so what I did, almost lost it, got these safety goggles from Harbor Freight for under $2, and you can put that, probably not going to look very good, but I did test it, and I'll throw my test up in the video as well. It's gonna have, at least give you the tint and the shape in there. But that's pretty much it. I've worn this a couple of times. It's really comfortable. I'm really happy with it. But what I will leave below are a bunch of links. I'm going to leave you links to SimCosplay on both of their Captain Marvel Endgame versions. I'll leave a link to my previous video where I reviewed the blue costumes from another company. I will put a link to my wig that I ended up getting in case it's something you're interested in, and anything else. So hopefully this was informative, and I will catch you next time. You made it to the end! Hooray! And this is where I'm inserting the obligatory like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't mind, leave a comment below. And I will see you in the next video. Or you'll see me. You know what I mean.